It's kind of like go big or go home kind of place. So I knew that this place is the place that I want to grow with.
That's totally fine because you don't have to have everything figured out yet.
Sometimes you're not really lost, but you have this feeling that you're not, seen anymore. And this type of feeling is something that is also present even for those who are doing their best. So sometimes they are stuck in their careers. But then again, just like what I said earlier, leadership doesn't stop, learning doesn't stop, basically. Because if you don't take the first step, you probably would experience the same thing. So I would say that just go for it, be fearless.
Welcome to the WorkBeing Podcast, where we talk about real work, real growth, and what it takes to be what next.
From the internship to the leadership, we got a lot of story that you might just change the way you look at your work.
For today's episode, it starts where most good stories do, with two couples of students here, looking for more than just an internship.
And hi, I'm Ticha. I'm interning with the employer branding team. So basically, I just made the world see what life at LINE MAN Wongnai really feel like.
And I'm Yim, a talent acquisition intern. I'm here to help bring new people to LINE MAN Wongnai. While Ticha here, make sure they experience LINE MAN Wongnai the way it's meant to be, from the inside out.
Let's be real. So I think finding the right internship is completely chaos.
Yeah, that was wow, but me too, I guess.
Yeah, so I mean, we have to spend months in like 9 to 5 worlds, and we have to make sure that everything is in the right place.
Yeah, but I'm curious, do you have a checklist for a good intern place for you?
The checklist, I probably say yes, because it's really matter. For example, like the durations for the internships, is that easy to commute, BTS MRT access for the locations, and also benefits, and most importantly, the support facility in this office. That's all matter.
Yeah, I agree. Even tiny bothering can burn you out sometimes.
So yeah, please check everything before you say yes, and do research where you're gonna intern. It's really matter more than you think. And if you wanna know whether your working style fit with the LINE MAN Wongnai, so check out our day in the life on Life at LINE MAN Wongnai.
That's interesting. I guess LINE MAN Wongnai really check all your boxes.
For real, honestly, this company is the best. Just given flexible hour, hybrid working, and real work with the real impact like this podcast, and also perfect location and also the top tier co-worker. And I could be more obsessed with the LINE MAN Wongnai all days. I mean, I am employer branding too, right?
Very cool. Yeah. Now I'm curious, what is your final checklist that made you I choose LINE MAN Wongnai?
For the final checklist, I think it probably come from the podcast I listened before I applying this at LINE MAN Wongnai. He was Pirut, who leads the people team, and he said that this company is บริษัทที่ใจกว้างและกล้าหาญ so I feel this was real, and this mindset is really stuck in me. It's kind of like go big or go home kind of place. So I knew that this place is the place that I want to grow with. And honestly, I feel I didn't know all of it at first. And right now I'm thinking I'm just to start to figure out the whole working life thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally fine because you don't have to have everything figured out yet. You just take your time and be open to growth. The search for the right internship can be exhausting sometimes, but it's a good investment for your life and also for your career path, especially when you found your company that aligns with your goals or aligns with your values. That can truly redefine your career path as well.
Yeah, I think so.
And actually, today we make it even more clarity because someone who has walked the path is joining us today. Kev, Head of People and Talent. Please welcome to the show.
Sawadee krap. Thanks for having me today, Yim and Ticha.
Sawadee krap.
Yeah, PK, I'm so glad that we were here together for today.
Yeah, I'm super excited actually.
Yeah, so everyone, all right, before we dive into the real talk, so let's get started with something fun and quick. So let's play this or that game. So let's start at the first questions. Team boarding or skill building workshop?
Team bonding trips for sure. Nothing bond the team, play the karaoke at the midnight.
For me, I would go for skill building. I usually love learning new things and trying to apply it as soon as I can.
All right, for the next questions, would you prefer the working on site or work from home?
Well, I'm not really the type of working from home person, so I prefer going to the office or on site. I really enjoy having, coffee chats and connecting to my colleagues. So definitely working on site.
Yeah, as I said, like I want to have a really delicious cafe, so let's go on the office. And what about you, Yim?
Work from home for me. I'm sharper in my own space, and hybrid work like this give us the best both worlds.
So the next question is, the morning coffee or 5-day drink?
Ticha, if you asked me 10 years ago, my answer would be the latter, but now my answer would be morning coffee. I love, getting my coffee in the morning. It's like a ritual. It's like, an energy booster for me to become productive for that day. So yeah, coffee.
What about you, Yim?
So I'm PK from 10 years ago because I will pick the Friday drinks. Absolutely.
Yeah, and LINE MAN Wongnai office have both of this, both coffee and the 5-day drink. So come here to join us. And for the last question, would you prefer LINE MAN delivery or eating out?
Of course, LINE MAN delivery because
It's quick
easy.
and ถูกสุดทุกวัน
Yeah, that's all. I really totally agree with you guys. So this is like the fun way to see like each other in the same team have some completely different preferences, but can also work together and be the complement for each other.
That say a lot how LINE MAN Wongnai value flexibility and how different people can work together. Alright, so PK, do you ever feel like you're doing a good job, you're showing up, or even mentoring new joiners, but still you're like you're stuck, or you feel like I'm not really moving?
Sometimes you're not really lost, but you have this feeling that you're not, seen anymore. And this type of feeling is something that is also present even for those who are doing their best. So sometimes they are stuck in their careers. So here at LINE MAN Wongnai, we actually wait, for these employees or for these people to raise their hand, but rather we actually look at the momentum. If we see someone is already plateauing, we check in with them, right? It could be something that is initiated by the manager, or if it's going to be a more deeper, serious conversation, then we also have our HRBB team involved. So we don't wait for the employees to actually be burnt out. That's the reason why we take actions right away.
I want to know more, like how LINE MAN Wongnai help the employees who's like stuck in the kind of like middle phase, like not new anymore, but they're not like promoted to the leader yet. Yeah.
I think that is actually a very good question, Yim. Of course, apart from, from the conversations that a direct manager would typically have with their direct reports, also apart from the involvement of our HRBB teams, usually we in the people team create different initiatives to address this type of problems in the workplace, right? And what we try to do here is we actually give a structure for these people, but we don't really pressure them. So when we talk about some of the initiatives that we do, I can actually name a few of them. So the first one would be what we call We Coach. So We Coach is a sort of initiative that helps to build clarity in terms of, you have this one-on-one coaching with, I would say, a well-experienced leader or a known figure in the company. So you have that opportunity to explore your leadership potential. We also have what we call LLA, or it's actually known as LINE MAN Wongnai Leadership Academy. So LINE MAN Wongnai Leadership Academy is a very extensive workshop. We invite an expert outside to teach us leadership strategy, how to manage difficult teams. So there are many topics. So it's not just a workshop, but rather it's also an opportunity for us to learn from each other. There's actually a lot more. We train, which is very, I would say, specific to, let's say, a department-initiated training, or we have sort of like soft skills training or time management trainings, those kind of trainings to entertain or to cater to whatever gaps a certain team or a certain individual is experiencing, right? And we also have our online library, which we call We Learn. And do watch out for a new initiative that we have created for those who are new people managers, right? Apart from all of this training, there's also what we call on-the-job training, wherein you get to do a stretch role. So you have an opportunity to have a new scope. For example, if you want to become a project manager without having to give up your role.
Let's say someone just step into a bigger role, like senior level, like, okay, LINE MAN Wongnai have also lots of senior people as well. And when they just step in and they just surrounded by many senior people, how do they build trust or like show that they belong to the team?
I think it's just about normal to feel sometimes intimidated when you are new to an environment that you're not used to. If you got promoted to a more senior position, but you feel like you're surrounded with even more senior people, I think that feeling of, I would say, imposter syndrome sometimes, like you're questioning yourself, is pretty, I would say, normal. But I feel like you should not let that feeling defeat you. But instead, you should show up. Like there is a reason why you are in that position, and you've done something very good in the past. That's the reason why you are entrusted with that responsibility. So number one is about accepting the fact that you are qualified. Number two is making sure that you show up. Be present, ask questions. That's how you gain trust to the people. The people that are more senior than you, you should take the opportunity to actually ask them something because they are experts in what they do. And in order for you to gain trust, people needs to see how you improve and how you level up, right? So it's really important for you to ask questions to the more senior people. And that's how you gain trust.
All right. And so how do you help senior people like stay being open to growth, especially when they like seen and done a lot?
That's a very good question, Yim. But personally, I think learning never stops. Do you agree with that?
Correct. Yeah, absolutely.
Learning never stops. And no matter how senior you are in your role, there will always be opportunity for you to learn new things. And just like what I mentioned earlier, we have different programs that cater to different professional level. And since you were asking me, how do we cater to those who are already, more senior people? So the program, the leadership or LINE MAN Wongnai Leadership Academy, usually caters to those well-experienced manager, right? We believe that upskilling managers doesn't stop, right? Even if you had, years of experience as a manager, I think at some point you would still have to be updated on the current trends in terms of leadership, right? The Leadership Academy that we have at LINE MAN Wongnai focuses on strategy. It also focuses on cross-functional influence, right? The second is about mentorship. And also that's the reason why we invite external coaches to get some perspective from the outside and adopt it and see how we can adapt that for our company. So you actually never, stop. We just keep moving forward, right? So that's the reason why we have an ongoing programs no matter or regardless of your professional level.
And this is really sum it up. Here is not just the buzzword, but whether you are the intern or a new hire or even the senior level, figure out what is your next step. LINE MAN Wongnai has a system and people to work with you.
All right, PKF, you've been guiding us through all this, but let's rewind a bit. What was your turning point?
Oh, I think, Yim, this happened, a couple of years ago. It was early in my career where I didn't really have the title. I didn't have the authority to be a leader. All right. But I think the turning point for me was when I started getting, bigger responsibilities, when I get entrusted with a more difficult situation that I have to make a decision for the whole team, right? And when I have to take ownership. I think that was a turning point for me that I feel like I'm kind of ready to become a people leader or a people manager. But I think those weren't the only indicators because there were many experiences that led me to experiencing leadership, right? The first few years for me was very difficult because I have to adapt to it. I have to find a way to improve my skills in terms of leadership. such as finding some mentors. So mentors within the company I work for during that time, or probably mentors that are actually within my network. And a couple of times, they give me some constructive feedback, but most of the time I get really truthful feedback that it hurts me, but it actually played a very vital role into what I am today, right? So if I have given up on those negative feedback before, probably I wouldn't learn so much about leadership. But then again, just like what I said earlier, leadership doesn't stop, learning doesn't stop, basically. So right now, I'm happy that I get to be involved in creating or curating contents for our leaders in this company because we get to share our expertise, or we get to connect with people outside of the company and share fresh perspective in terms of leadership, right? Doubting yourself is normal, but I think you should stop. You shouldn't stop from there. Go find a mentor, listen to their advices, and be open for learning new things, right? Because learning is a continuous process.
Okay, like for everyone listening to us, if they're ready but they are being afraid or scared, what's one thing you'd like to say to them?
If someone is ready but afraid or scared to take the next step, right? I think if you stuck in that position and don't take action at all, you wouldn't be able to explore what you can, the extent of what you can as a professional. Sometimes it's easy to say like, okay, go out there and take a risk, but it's really difficult to take a risk. But I think that advice is really important, because if you don't get out of your comfort zone, you probably won't be able to see your potential. You won't be able to see how much you can, what's the best thing that you can in terms of, how you want to step up in your career. And whether you want to be in the individual contributor path or whether you want to become a people manager, both of them actually require some risk. So it's really important for you to take the first step and just go on, right? Because if you don't take the first step, you probably would, experience the same thing. So I would say that just go for it, be fearless.
But yeah, okay. Honestly, that's the kind of stuff people really need to hear. And thanks for being so open to us.
You're welcome. I think this is a really great opportunity for us to talk about these things, our personal experience. But I hope you guys, I was able to share something based on my personal experience, and I'm really happy to share more. If feel free to ask me. Yes. So everyone, if you are passionate, driven, and ready to make a real impact while being part of a team that values creativity, collaboration, and diversity, LINE MAN Wongnai is a place for you. So don't wait. Check out our available positions at our career site and apply today. It's time to say goodbye, but don't forget to like, share, and follow us to stay connected with everything that is happening here at LINE MAN Wongnai. Bye for now.